Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of LTV News. I'm Derek Carper.
And I'm Kate Cartenuto. Let's dive right into our first discussion. The Student Finance Board funded 4 events that were presented to them during their meeting on January 27th, reports the Signal. The student organization unanimously funded each of the events and allocated the exact amount each student asked for. One event that has garnered special attention is titled A Night with Rob Delaney. Rob Delaney is a comedian who is most recognizable from his Twitter, where he has over 1 million followers. The man was dubbed the funniest man on Twitter by Comedy Central in 2013 for tweets such as, quote, "I wrote my niece out of my will because she made a joke about Billy Joel on Twitter yesterday." Rob Delaney is set to appear on Saturday, March 29th at 8 p.m. in the Broward Student Center, room 202. The Student Finance Board also funded a country music showcase at TCNJ. The show will be a 2-hour-long set by the band Mockingbird Sun on Thursday, March 6th at 8 p.m., also in room 202 in Broward Student Center. Mockingbird Sun is an up-and-coming band who has previously opened up for notable country music star Toby Keith. SFB also fully funded the Eurasia Middle East Society to have a Syrian music night. The event will incorporate current events as well as pressing issues. The group has been allocated $5,090 for the event, which will take place on February 13th at 7 p.m. in the library auditorium. Finally, the Signal reports that the Student Finance Board funded the Chinese Students Association for their Chinese New Year celebration. The Signal quoted the programming director Brian Green commenting on the event saying, quote, "I really like this event. I went to it last year and it did really well."
There is a lot to be done here on campus when it comes to theater between TMT and ACT, but one event that attracts members from more than just these theater organizations is the much-anticipated Wired event. Writers, directors, and actors collide in the 24-hour competition where everything from writing, blocking, acting, and performing is carried out in a short time space. Wired, which happened to be February 1st, is ran by 6 arbiters who manage the event, oversee the writing process, and work out the mechanics of the event. This year, headed by Matthew Stewart, the arbiters chose the theme of nursery rhymes, which resulted in 5 shows centered around tales like Jack and Jill, 3 Blind Mice, and This Little Piggy, among others. Throughout the writing process, the arbiters threw various twists at the writers, which they had to incorporate in their scripts. Following an entire night of writing, the actors and directors come in to bring the shows to life, with less than 12 hours to rehearse before performing. Freshman open options major Camila Garcia said, quote, "The biggest challenge for me was being able to have the directors, writers, and myself happy with who the character became." The shows were a success and provided a great laughter for the audience and members involved with Wired. For the competition aspect of Wired, the Signal reports that the overall winner was the act titled This Little Piggy Pledged Sorority, which was written by seniors Jim Bloss and Jonathan Dowler. Garcia summed up Wired by describing it as 24 hours of complete chaos that somehow turns into 5 great plays.
We are going to take a quick break, but when we get back, we're going to hear from Brent Shortino, who interviewed Nick Offerman.
Hello, you're watching LTV. I'm Ben Shortino, and tonight I have Nick Offerman with me. How's it going, Nick?
Pretty good.
Good. So, Nick, you've been on Parks and Rec for a while now, but did you always really want to break out into acting, or was this sort of a just happenstance thing that happened?
That's a very good question. I was actually working as a janitor at NBC Universal.
Really?
And they had been auditioning a lot of actors, and I was not interested in... That's false. Yes, I went to theater school. I worked in Chicago theater for years, and I never dreamed that I would get a job as good as Parks and Recreation. I was very happy working steadily as a character actor, and my wife is the hot shot in the family. You know, I enjoyed being Mr. Mullally and fetching her slippers when she'd come home from work. So it came as somewhat of a surprise when I got this show, and then my part became popular. So it's been mostly really fun and enjoyable. I never would have wanted to be so recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird at the airport or the grocery store when people throw bacon at me. At first it was flattering, but then it began to hurt because it's usually frozen.
Tell me about it. Also, people know you mostly for Parks and Rec, but you also do, you're the main character in Axe Cop. You had a role in the new Lego movie. So how does voice acting really differ from your typical on TV, on-air acting?
Well, the main difference is the audience can't see you. By and large, they're looking at animated pictures. I have a lot of fun doing it. I always get in trouble with things like Axe Cop because since the story and the narrative usually creatively goes beyond the bounds of reality, your voice is then required to do the same. And I always scream way too much because Axe Cop loves to scream when he chomps people's heads off.
Of course.
And then I blow my voice out, and then I get in trouble when I have to go work on Parks and Recreation. They say, "Why do you sound so hoarse?" And I say, "Axe Cop."
And one more question. Ever since, I suppose, Parks and Rec started, it seems like you've been getting a lot of sort of overtly masculine roles. The Man-Witch announcer, Axe Cop is also very manly. Was this the sort of character that you were hoping you would set out to play, or did this just sort of happen from Parks and Rec?
I agree. It's surprising. I mean, to look at me, I would cast me as more of a mincing fop, and I think I have a lot of those roles ahead of me. I'm a versatile actor. I do actually like to play all kinds of people, but the role that sort of brought me into the public eye, Ron Swanson, he's a rather manly customer, and so people want to see you. They want you to specialize. They want to kind of pigeonhole you. So at the moment, people want to see me play manly guys. But some of the roles I've been doing in films are more sensitive. When Parks and Rec is over, I'll be looking to do things that are as unlike Ron Swanson as possible, just because I feel like I've had a wonderful smorgasbord of manliness. Now it's time to maybe play a ballet dancer.
All right, well, I definitely look forward to that. Thank you very much for coming on the show, Nick.
My
It's been a pleasure.
Very nice to meet you.
This is Ben with LTV, and stay tuned for what we got next.
Well, that does it for this edition of LTV News. If you would like to join Lions Television, email us at ltv@tcnj.edu or like us on Facebook. I'm Derek Carper.
And I'm Kate Cartenuto. We'll see you next time.